Are you ready for my Halloween Horror Nights 26 hype list? Let's get to it. First off, we're going to start with the scare zones, and then on another video I'm going to get to my top house hype list. So that is not really a tag, but if you want to do a hype list, by any means do it. Tag other people to do it. Let's get this thing started in the YouTube community for Halloween Horror Nights 26 hype list. Let's do it.
Lock me away. It's all just a show. I'll make you pay. I won't let you go. While Jack's away, it's my turn to dance. My turn to play. You won't stand a chance.
So for scare zones, it is really kind of trickery. The houses kind of tricked me a little more than the zones, but for the zones, I kind of bounced around here and there. I changed some stuff. I'm going to explain to you why the zone is at the number it is, why it could be better or worse. So let's get to it. Number 5 starting out is Chance's scare zone, which is A Chance in Hell. Now the reason why this comes in dead last out of all the scare zones, being that this is on Production Drive, I think it is. If you did not know, it is located in between the Minion ride and Shrek 4D. This is the area last year, if you went, they had the Scary Tales zone in, and the year before they had the Blood Masquerade. This area tends to be my least favorite usually overall. I haven't been impressed with this zone, at least this zone area, in quite a number of years. Not since like the Path of the Wicked. This area typically does not do very well, and that is a discussion I'm sure we'll have after the event is over, whether this area should stay or go. The fact that you kind of hit the icon zone right in the bat, and then her house is way on the other side of the park, you know, next to MIB, it's just a little bit weird to me. It seems kind of disjuntled. It seems like this was like a second-hand idea. I think that they had Chance as the icon, and they knew they were going to do a house, but I think they just kind of tacked on the scare zone at the last minute maybe. But yeah, there's nothing particular in the artwork that leads me to be excited for the zone. All I know is that there's going to be a Barker and some of the, I guess, inmates from her asylum. That's pretty much it. Nothing really exciting. I really hope it does well, but that's why it's number 5. And coming in at number 4 on my list is Banshees Layer. Now this zone, it was a little higher up, and then when I started to kind of think about the list and let it kind of settle in and really think about this zone, it went down all the way to number 4. And the reason why is because Central Park, I love this area, but I feel like Universal has played it really safe with this like zone area. Like the past couple of years, they played it safe. And by what I mean by that is that we've had Evil Roots, we've had Grown Evil, we've had the Voodoo Zone, we've had, now we're going to get Banshees Layer, and all the zones typically just look the same. Okay, like some of the set is kind of switched out, and they, you know, switch around the characters here and there, but it's pretty much the same zone almost every year. It feels like the same zone pretty much. I want them to do a little bit something different with the Central Park area. You have woods, you kind of have grass, you have this fence, you have immersive fog in this area. I'm sure there's stuff they can think of outside of the box. That's why this zone is kind of number 4, unless the Banshees kind of bring it and they're kind of cool looking and maybe they have some kind of light up face effect maybe going on. But other than that, all we know is that there's Banshees running through the zone. There's nothing else to indicate if there's other creatures or what, you know? Number 3 for me is Vamp 1955.
Life could be dreams, rise up above.
Now, this zone is kind of right on Hollywood, and if you don't know where that was, last year was where the Icons was, the Icon Zone with all the Icon stage shows. This zone is kind of in the middle of all the scare zones for me, and the reason being that it was number 4, but it got pushed up because while I don't really like the theme of it, I don't like the idea. I love the 50s, I love vampires, I'm just not sure if those two mash together. It all depends on how the vampires look. If they're gonna go for a comedic kind of jokingly thing, I don't think that's gonna work as far as the scare zone. I'm interested to see how it's gonna look as far as the music and the sets, but really intrigued about the whole vampire angle. It could be like a comedy zone, it could be serious. I don't know at this point, and I hope it's kind of really scary, but kind of fun at the same time. But that's why it's number 3 on my hype list. Coming in at number 2 is Survive or Die. Which is featured to be in the New York scare zone area. If you do not know, they have the Shady Brook crazy patients running last year in that area. Right off the bat, I was not really keen on the presentation. The artwork was cool. Rain Assault, Acid Assault. I don't know why they didn't just give us a sequel to that instead of making something totally brand new and saying Survive or Die when it's similar. As you can tell, this is probably where the Purge scare zone would have went, but they scrapped that idea, I'm sure, and this is all rumor. I'm pretty sure they scrapped the idea due to the nightclub shooting that happened in Orlando, and they just didn't kind of want to do the Purge with a lot of the, you know, gunshot noises and the characters running around with the guns and whatnot. So they opted for Survive or Die. I don't know. So this zone is supposedly supposed to, and this is all rumored right now, we do not know, it's supposed to have projections in the zone. We can see obviously in the towers there are projectors. What we're guessing is that it's going to do the 3D effect that Acid Assault had, where the buildings looked like they were crumbling and they fell. I don't think it's going to be that, but I think it's going to be that the buildings are kind of maybe damaged and maybe some fires going on, you know, kind of on the building itself. I think that's what we're going to see. I'm interested to know how the 2 factors or the 3 groups, I think it's 3 groups are going to kind of interact. Are they going to just have sections, clothing? I mean, how is this going to look once the finished product is there? Hopefully it feels like a really like apocalyptic city and doesn't feel too spaced out. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Like Psychoscarapy was really spaced out because of the parade. They can't do, you know, really massive sets and really massive stuff. So I'm interested to see how they're going to handle this. That's why it's number 2. Coming in at number 1 obviously is Dead Man's Wharf. Now this zone already has the giant boat sitting in it right now. And so what I imagine is when you're walking up to the zone, you're gonna hear like the oceans kind of going back and forth, the waves, you're gonna hear maybe seagulls, maybe you see a lighthouse, hopefully. Maybe they're gonna do this laser kind of water effect, like if you go into Poseidon's Fury, you can kind of see what I'm talking about when they do the laser wave thing. Hopefully they kind of put that in there, and you're going to see kind of these ghost figures. Think like John Carpenter's The Fog. I'm going to love this zone if they nail it. I mean, so far it looks good. It sounds like it's going to be good. Hopefully it all the way follows through. And why this is number 1 is because this area I think is really, really great to have a zone in. Obviously, there's no house where Disaster was. So if you remember last year, they had Run, the house Run was there. And so you had that as an exit. You had people coming from New York area. You had people coming from the other side where Diagon Alley and Bill and Ted and all that stuff. So that zone was always packed. So I'm hoping with no house being there, that it's going to kind of open it up more. You're not going to get all the people coming from the house into the zone, so therefore it's going to be less people, I think, in the traffic way. I think a lot of people are going to just kind of go through the zone to get to Diagon Alley or Chance's house, or especially a lot of the houses that are going to be on the other side, so like Texas Chainsaw or Halloween. I think that's what's going to end up happening, and the zone is going to it's going to empty out, which is going to make it even better for us to enjoy it. So that's why it's number 1 for me. What is your hype list for scare zones? I would love to know. Leave it down in the comment section. As always, make sure to hit a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this on the way. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes, the comments, subscribing. We are almost at 500. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, peace. And let's keep it hype all the way to Halloween Hornets 26.